In the interest of the younger ones, I would like you to first tell us what other things you do, so that they probably understand that this man sitting here did not just wake up one day and say, okay, I want to earn a living by talking about self-image. You have some other things you do, and
sure.
I'd like to share that with you.
Okay.
Just as a background information. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It might be ironical to state that the question of the self-image is not my business. It's just a passion.
Okay.
And my primary business now is in the area of security, equipment, marketing, and then consulting. In other words, my organization primarily provide security solutions, okay, to individuals, to groups, to corporate bodies, to governmental and non-governmental bodies. Okay. The self-image aspect of it is just a passion, okay, and I just do it because I think I would say it's a calling, okay, and I think it came about by, when one looks at his background and where he is today, and then also looking at what is happening in our society today, you have no choice but to realize that a lot of things have gone really wrong. Yeah. In the way our youths, I want to focus on the youth because I identify with them, even though I'm an old man, but I'm youth at heart. A lot of things have gone wrong with the youths, and they don't really see themselves as capable of doing anything. So okay, that is what led me into a study, in-depth study of self-image management.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
The next question.
Yep.
I said it before I went on break. Would like to know the effect, the impact of self-image in the overall development, be it mental, be it physical development of the child, that makes him who he or she is at the end of the day.
Yes, thank you very much. This is very, very vital. And I want to tackle this by referring to what the legendary Henry Ford said. He said, and I quote, "If you think you can or you cannot, you might be probably right." In other words, it's your thinking, it's your perception of yourself, it's your self-image of who you are that determines what you can do. Also, another author, whom I cannot remember the name, said that what you can do or cannot do is not determined by the capacities or latent powers or prowess you have. Okay. Then another person went to refine it by saying that the race does not go to the swiftest or the fastest, but to he who thinks he or she can. And then also, the Living Book, the Bible, tells us in Proverbs 23:7 that as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. All these things put together will tell us that we are who we are, and we are where we are, not because of the capacities that are resident within us, but because of what we think, what we feel, and what we believe, our belief of who we are and what we can do. And that tells us and brings us to the issue of this self-image. The father of self-image management in the world, of the blessed memory, Maxwell Moss, in his great book called Psycho-Cybernetics, he says that human beings act, feel, and perform in accordance to what they imagine to be true about themselves and their environment. And there is no other greater truth. Your actions, your feelings, your performance has nothing to do with who you are, but what you imagine, vividly imagine, about what is true about yourself and your environment. You react to people the way you think they react to you, not the reality. So this self-image management is at the crux of everything we do in life. I want to be a little bit, maybe vulgar, you may say. If I see a young lady that I want to date, and I have within me that I can woo her, talk to her, and she will agree with me to be with me, do I have any reason to go and rape her? No. But because I have a complex, I have a negative or inadequate self-image of myself, that if I go talk to her, she may not agree, I look for ways and means to go and rape her. Then one of these other things that is killing the youth today, the cult system. Why do you want to join a cult? Number one, probably you are not too sure you can pass your exams by yourself. Then you now join a cult, you go and threaten the lecturer so that he can pass you because you are in a cult. In another way, then you can, if you watch, there are cases where you have these children from the very well-to-do families finding themselves in the cult organizations. Why is that so? There's everything to them in terms of materials. But that is not enough. Even though the monies are there, their image dictates there is a lack, there is a yearning gap within themselves that they are not sure of who they are. They don't really know who they are. They don't really know that they have the capability of being or having or doing whatever they want to do in life. It is only about believing that they can do that. So, the parents have a very, very strong role to play here. The way you represent your child to the child is determinant of the way the child feels about him or herself. So, it starts from the home. And our problem today, I make bold to state, and I stand to be corrected, that the problem of this country and the problem of this world is a family problem, is a parental problem, is the parents lacking in their duties to their children. Yeah. Now, if you, from the one, make your child believe that he can and he should, as well in the popular parlance of Barack Obama, I can or we can. If you let your child know that from day one, from the day he was born, you don't need to wait till he's 10 years old. You reinforce the positive aspects of him. If he makes any mistake, you don't condemn him, you don't destroy him, you are a fool, you are a good-for-nothing child. No. If he makes a mistake, correct it mildly and then redirect the child to the positive. Okay? But supposing you fail to do that, and the child has developed a negative self-image, now that's where we come in. The school is another point. The teachers in the school are there to re-engineer some of the negative self-images the children came from their home. Because whether you believe it or not, some of the parents are just parents in quotes. Yeah. They are not real parents.
Child bearers.
Child bearers. So, let us believe, for the purposes of discussion here, that the child came out with a negative self-image. Okay. How do we now help the child to develop or rediscover him or herself? The child should know that, look, this is the source of it. We can just put it this way. What do we have role models the child can look up to? Do we have mentors the child can look up to? First of all, is for the child to identify that these negative or self-limiting beliefs are there. For you to be able to solve any problem, you must to identify that the problem is there in the first place. So the child should be able to have a total reflection of what is happening to him or her, and then identify those things, and then put it there, and then go out and form goals, set up goals for herself or himself, and setting up these goals, you look at what is happening, who are the people that have these qualities that I want. Then you now copy those qualities. It's advised that you write them down. This is what I want to be. And then look at them or read them very often, especially before you go to bed at night and when you wake up in the morning. When you write them down, what you are doing to yourself is the repetition. You repeat it to yourself. Now we have taken the authoritativeness, the repetition, and then, of course, the consistency. When you have done that, now you have a goal for yourself. And we said, as you think in your heart, so you are, or so you become. So you have a goal, you think about this goal all the time, and eventually you become what you think about.
Well, you've heard it from the expert, a self-image management consultant. It's obvious to all of us here now that this is not a topic we can exhaust in an episode. So perhaps we probably might have to invite you once again, because the issue you're talking about is something that it does not just gladden my heart, but it's something I'm very passionate about. Sure. Because we have a major problem. Like you were saying, the people you are looking at as parents, a lot of them are the same young ladies and guys you see naked on campuses, and of course, somehow, someday, yes, they become mothers, they become parents, they become fathers. And so I think you need to listen carefully to what we are talking about. You are who you are based on your personal perception of who you are. Therefore, what I can say is draw inspiration from this gentleman here who has seen it all. Perhaps he just wanted to be modest. He's seen it all because he's worked in an oil company. He's operated an independent oil marketing company. I know that very well. And today he's into securities. Now, what that means is that you too can achieve whatever you want to achieve. And what he's talking about here today, he says, is a passion. And we just hope that you've been positively influenced. So it's my pleasure chatting with you. And
thank you so very much.
When we call on you, you'll come back to assist us in professionalizing Nigeria.
At your pleasure.
The entire continent of Africa.
At your pleasure and the pleasure of our young youth out there.
It's all right.
Thank you very much.
So long now. We are going to take another short break. And by the time I come back, we are going to wrap up. But for now, that's all for the interview segment. Please stay. You've seen it all, you've heard it all. Soft-spoken, but straight to the point. And I believe you've drawn some inspiration from this gentleman, talking about self-image management or self-image development. And all what I can say is that we all need this. There are times you see a 50-year-old who is not confident of himself, and you begin to wonder, where is he coming from? Sometimes people who are very highly educated, and then you see them behave in public and you begin to ask yourself, wow, are you sure this person went to school? I think it's all about a self-image problem. If you do not have self-confidence, it simply means you have an image problem. Therefore, I hope that someday soon we'll be able to bring back Uche Nnadi to discuss this, to elaborate more on this. Or perhaps we find a way of going to schools to educate the young ones so that they all come out to be individuals who are proud of themselves. That's why I keep saying on this program, whatever you do, what matters is that you derive joy, there is passion, and you enjoy what you do. And I can assure you, we'll have a better society. So, till next week when I come your way, I remain Martin Sobu, urging you to stay hooked and keep watching A Chat with the Professional so that we together can develop Nigeria professionally and indeed the entire continent of Africa. So till then, I'll see you and bye for now.